Hey, what's up, guys, gals? CJ here, straight off the couch on the way to work. Talking to a buddy the other day, and he kind of gave me the idea without knowing he gave me the idea of this episode. He was telling me about how he had a situation. His kid fell off the bed, he and his wife both in the room, neither one of them really super paying attention, and obviously the kid fell off the bed, bit it, ate it, whatever you want to say, cried, then got back up and was fine. But in the moment of the kid falling off, crying, and all that stuff, he was yelled at. His wife, spouse, got frustrated with him in the moment because he let that happen. It was his fault. Now, forewarning, I'm going to go ahead and stop here. This might be a little bit triggering for some of you out there and might be a little touchy of a subject, but I really don't care. That's what this podcast is, so let's get over it. Now to move on. So, he was the problem. It was his fault. Now, at what point can you say that something is somebody else's fault when you both were in the room, neither one was really paying attention? You can't really blame that on somebody else. And it's not just the problem of this one instance. The problem is always being the problem. I hear it from a lot of people. Morgan Wallen's got the song, if I'm the problem, and the rest is you're the reason. A lot of people I've talked to, have the same feeling and are in the same situation, that they're always the problem. Nothing they can do is ever good enough or ever right. Would I be lying if I said at certain points in my relationship I haven't felt that way? Yeah, I have felt that way at certain times in my relationships. But it's something my wife and I work on. It's something I communicate with her that, hey, make sure we're both being held accountable. Make sure, if you're wrong at times, you say that. Make sure you say that. You got to take responsibility in your relationship, guys and gals. And it goes both ways. In this situation, I'm saying the wife is always telling him he's the problem. Or telling other people they're always the problem. Oh, sometimes you got to look inward. Sometimes you got to look at yourself and see if maybe something you're triggered by is causing that stuff. So it's really what the point of this, podcast is on this episode is, make sure you look inward, whether you're the male or the female, whatever part of this, whatever side of this situation you tend to be in a lot. Life isn't always one person's problem in a relationship. It's two people's. So the problem is you guys got to figure that out together. So work on it. Communicate. Okay. Biggest part of all these episodes I always talk about is communication. If you do not have good communication, you do not have open, healthy communication, everything else is going to suffer. So, if you always feel like you're the problem, you can never do anything right, everything you do just ends up being brought back on you, okay, say that. But don't say it, don't be derogatory, don't yell, don't be a dick, guys. Just communicate openly how you're feeling. And to the other person that's being communicated to, listen. Take some accountability back if needed. Obviously, there's times where sometimes that other person is the problem. Okay? I do it all the time. I'm the problem a lot. There's a lot of times where I don't write shit on a list and I forget. And then, I'm the problem because I didn't get stuff from the store that we really needed. And then we have to go back out to the store and we got to do other stuff aside from what we plan on doing. So, at times I can be the problem. Now, is it a life or death thing and we're not going to make it because I didn't get something? No. but it's still an issue that needs to be fixed. So, there are times where it's justified. Hey, you forgot to get that. Like, come on now. And there's times to be a little bit more forceful with that conversation. But make sure that's not always happening in a one-way direction. These aren't streets in a city where everything's one way. It's two-way streets the whole time in a relationship. And if it's not two-way streets the whole time in a relationship, maybe you are in the wrong relationship. Okay? So make sure you guys are having that communication. Make sure you're taking accountability on both sides. You're doing everything you need to do to not be the problem all the time. But make sure you're looking inward and realize that sometimes you are the problem, and work on things. Talk, have that communication, and just make sure, guys, you guys are in this together. You chose to be with each other for a reason. Get back to that. Love conquers all. All right, guys, that's it. Shorter episode today, but I will catch you on the next one.